The story starts, and we see a woman who was extremely frightened in her room. She had seen the shadows of a woman and a child sitting in the bathtub. After this incident, her mental state began to deteriorate. She constantly felt like someone was following her or trying to harm her. Her childhood friend Uni always stayed with her and kept reminding her that taking her medication on time was important. Otherwise, such hallucinations could increase. Uni went out to get food, and exactly at 6 p.m., the woman decided to prepare the tub for a bath. As she filled the tub with water and picked up her toothbrush, a loud scream was heard. Uni came running, but by then, it was too late. The woman had been brutally murdered, and the bathroom was drenched in blood. After this, the story introduces Alma, who got the opportunity to become the manager of an apartment building. She moved in with her younger sister. The apartment's caretaker started showing them the building as they went up in the elevator. Alma noticed that the 6th floor was closed off. The caretaker told her that repair work was underway there, and it was off limits. Alma ignored this and started living with her sister in flat number 301 on the 3rd floor. The caretaker couple informed them that they would be away on a short vacation and that they could contact the other staff members if needed. Alma's boyfriend Ryan, who is a police officer, told her that 2 women had mysteriously died in the building in the past. Both their bodies were found in pieces without any weapon or evidence. Ryan warned her to inform him immediately if anything strange occurred. Later, Ryan reopened an old case in which a woman had seen something strange every day at sunset for 4 consecutive days, but the meaning behind it had never been understood. During this time, Alma receives a complaint from flat number 509 that water is continuously dripping in their bathroom, and the issue might be related to the 6th floor. Previously, a similar problem had occurred in flat number 510, and the woman living there had died under mysterious circumstances. Alma went with the man living in 509 to check flat 510. There they found that the bathroom was leaking badly. The man was going out of town for a few days and handed over full responsibility to Alma. When Alma returned to the office, she saw that the repair staff had already left, and now the work could only be done the next morning. Just then, her sister arrived and asked her to come home with her, but Alma had decided that she would go and inspect the 6th floor herself. Both sisters went upstairs together. When they reached room 610, they heard a woman's voice. She was identifying herself as Miss Carr. As the voice continued, the sisters slowly began opening the bathroom door. Alma and her sister quickly ran toward their home. What they had just seen wouldn't leave their minds. The next day, Alma reached her apartment office as usual. Just then, some pins fell from her hand. But what was surprising was that the pins were arranging themselves on the floor to form numbers one by one. At that moment, a colleague told her that the maintenance staff was on leave that day, so the work in flat 509 had been delayed by another day. Alma was forced to go to the man's house herself to inspect the bathroom leak. As she approached the bathroom, she saw wet footprints on the floor. Following those footprints, she reached the kitchen, where a little girl was standing. Alma asked her what she was doing there, but the girl didn't respond and ran straight into a room. Suddenly, a woman's voice came from inside the room. Alma was a little scared. Still, she slowly opened the door. In front of her, a woman was combing her daughter's hair. But the very next moment, what happened was terrifying. Alma saw something so horrifying that she screamed and ran from there. So fast, it was as if she was lightning. While running, she encountered Ryan, who was investigating the case. Alma took him back to flat 509, but now everything there appeared normal. She couldn't believe it. Was it all just her imagination? Alma told Ryan about the mysteries related to 4 Days in Sunset, and she also mentioned a woman named Miss Kunti. A little while later, the apartment's caretaker couple returned. They tried to calm down the other residents. Ryan asked them about flat number 610. At first, they refused to say anything, but under Ryan's pressure, they finally revealed the truth. They said that 4 years ago, a mother and daughter had moved into that flat, but they soon left the flat. Shortly afterward, both of them died in a road accident. Later, when a cleaner was cleaning that room, he heard a woman's voice coming from the bathroom, talking about 4 days in Sunset. On the 4th day, that very cleaner saw the same mother and daughter in his own home's bathroom, and then he died under mysterious circumstances. Out of fear, the caretaker called a psychic, but even he was helpless in front of those spirits. He said that whoever hears about 4 days in Sunset after entering flat 610 is destined to die at sunset on the 4th day. Alma was deeply shaken upon hearing all this because she had not only heard those words but had also seen the mother and daughter with her own eyes. Caretaker Eamon explained that he had hidden everything to avoid tarnishing the apartment's reputation. Alma left the place out of fear. But Ryan, a tough police officer, was not ready to believe any of it. He decided to investigate apartment 610 himself. The couple stood at a distance in a corner, watching everything, but didn't dare to come closer. As soon as Ryan entered the room, the voice of Miss Case was heard again. When Ryan opened the bathroom door, he saw the mother and daughter sitting silently in the bathtub. He realized that the matter was extremely serious, but within moments, both of them suddenly vanished. The sight shook Ryan to his core, and he rushed out of apartment 610 in fear. At that same time, Alma's sister Mai was practicing in her dance class. Suddenly, she saw something strange in the mirror. Her reflection didn't match her actual expressions. She tried to compose herself and look carefully. Everything appeared normal. She breathed a sigh of relief, but as soon as Mai resumed dancing, she noticed that her reflection was spinning in circles nonstop, and its eyes had turned white. It was staring at her intensely. In that moment, Mai's body started to feel out of her control. Just then, Alma arrived in time and pulled Mai out of that strange state. The dance teacher told the two sisters that she had a third eye and could see spirits. She said that two wandering spirits were attached to Mai. However, she herself was not capable of stopping them, so she gave them the contact of an experienced psychic. Alma, who previously didn't believe in such things, now the situation had become such he had no other option left. On the other hand, Ryan wanted to uncover the truth about the mother and daughter living in flat number 610. He questioned the couple who managed the society, and they told him that the two had lived there for only 2 months and no one knew much about them. Exhausted and out of leads, Ryan returned to the police station and started going through case files from incidents that had occurred 4 years ago, hoping to find a link between any accident or death and that mother and daughter. Meanwhile, Alma called Sumo. When Sumo began the ritual, he sensed that these spirits were extremely powerful. He said the spirits would only find peace once their unfinished business was resolved, something that could only be discovered by finding their old personal belongings. The next day, Maya called Alma and asked to meet her at the swimming pool. But when Alma reached there, Maya was nowhere to be seen. When she called Maya, she was stunned to hear what Maya said. She hadn't called her at all. Just then, a loud noise came from behind Alma. She turned and saw flower petals near the swimming pool forming the number 2. Alma understood that she had only 2 days left. As she was about to leave, she heard a disturbance in the pool. On looking, nothing seemed unusual at first. But just then, Maya arrived and saw Alma slowly rising out of the water. But it wasn't the real Alma. The figure danced eerily and advanced toward Maya, then grabbed her and pulled her into the water. Fortunately, 2 other apartment residents arrived just in time and called for help. Ryan also reached the spot, and both sisters were rescued in time. Although they were now safe, everyone began to realize that this game had become far more dangerous than they had imagined. At that moment, Maya remembered seeing something like a mask on Alma's face. Everyone together asked the dance teacher about it. The teacher told them about an old artist who used to make masks. Mian sketched the shape of the mask he had seen on a piece of paper. After that, Alma and Ryan set off in search of that artist. After a long journey, they reached a village where an elderly artist named Sugang lived. As soon as he saw the design, he remembered something from years ago. A wealthy woman had once commissioned this special mask for her daughter. The 3 of them quickly set off for the woman's house. When Alma, R, and Ryan went to meet the wealthy woman to learn the story of her daughter, Miss Conti, the woman flatly refused to talk. But after speaking to the maid, the truth came out. Conti had gotten pregnant before marriage. When her mother found out, she angrily told her to get an abortion. But Conti refused. In anger, her mother threw her out of the house and never called her back. Not only that, she also ordered the maid to throw away all of Conti's belongings. But the maid couldn't bring herself to do it. She quietly saved them instead. Alma requested if they could see those things. When the items were brought out, they found a mask that the woman had specially commissioned from an artist for her daughter's dance performance. That same mask had now become the symbol of a restless spirit. Alma took the mask with her, hoping to do something to bring peace to Conti's soul. She and Ryan immediately set off for Sukmo's house. But on the way, they met with an accident, and their car tumbled down a hill. Alma had just managed to get outside when suddenly a person wearing a strange mask appeared in front of her. He tied a cloth around her hand and began pulling her. Just then, Alma woke up. It had all been a bad dream, but the injury on her hand was real. On the wall beside her, the number 3 was written, a sign that only 1 day was left. At that moment, an elderly woman entered the room and revealed that she was the one who had saved Ryan. But now time was running out. It was absolutely necessary to bring peace to Conti's spirit. Alma immediately packed her things and went to Tsukumo. As soon as Tsukumo touched the mask, it stuck to her face on its own. Began to see visions of the past. The truth came to light. Karani and her mother had not died in an accident. They were brutally murdered as part of a conspiracy in the same apartment, 610, and their bodies were dismembered. Since then, their souls had remained trapped there. However, Tsukumo couldn't see the killer's face. To uncover the truth, it was now essential to find the real culprit. Alma, Ryan, and Mia returned to the apartment and shared everything with the caretaker couple of the society. By that time, many people had already left the building out of fear. The remaining group was planning in the office, suspecting that the bodies might have been hidden on the 6th floor. Ryan suggested they split up to complete the search more quickly. Just then, Alma and Ryan heard screams. They rushed to find Mia unconscious in the bathroom, and the very next moment, Ryan was attacked too. When Alma arrived, Ryan was unconscious as well. And just then, the caretaker couple entered and knocked Alma unconscious too. Their intention was to keep the matter from getting out, fearing that the apartment's reputation would be ruined and their profits would vanish. When Alma regained consciousness, she was tied up, and the number 4 was written on the wall. That means today is the day of death. On the other hand, Ryan broke the toilet tank, took out a piece of glass from it, and cut the rope to free himself. He also freed Alma, and along the way, they saw that Mia had also been imprisoned by the same caretaker couple. It was now clear that all of this was being done to hide the truth. Ryan began to suspect that the accident might also have been a conspiracy. Eventually, they all helped Mia regain consciousness and decided to return the mask to Tsukumo. Just then, as Tsukumo put on the mask and began chanting the mantra, layers of truth began to unfold. It was revealed that the apartment caretaker, MN, was responsible for Kanti's pregnancy. AN's behavior was extremely inappropriate, and he also had a deep relationship with the apartment owner, Woolen. When Kanti tried to expose Anne's deeds, they tortured her for 4 days and then brutally murdered Kanti and her daughter. To hide their crime, they chopped up the bodies and buried them within the walls of apartment number 610. The real reason for keeping the 6th floor closed was to prevent anyone from discovering their secret. Tsukumo's spirit was so exhausted from revealing the mystery that it gave up right there. After learning the truth, Alama, Ryan, and Mia immediately went to the storeroom to get tools to break down the wall. But Ain and Woolen saw them. Ain pulled out a gun and shot Ryan in the back. Meanwhile, Alama and Ain got into a fight. But the aged Woolen and Ain couldn't stand up for long against the 3 young people. They were both knocked unconscious and the trio ran toward room 610. With the help of the sketch made by Tsukumo, they found the exact spot in the wall where the bodies were hidden. There wasn't much time left before sunset, so they had to hurry. Just then, 2 spirits emerged from the bathroom, Kanti and Karani. They grabbed Mia and tried to kill her as well. Meanwhile, Alama and Ryan broke through the wall and finally retrieved both skeletons. Upon seeing this, the spirits stopped, as if they were being freed. Letting go of Mia, the spirits smiled for a moment and became calm. At last, the long-buried truth had come to light. In the end, it was shown that the spirits of the daughter and her mother reached Eamon and Woolen and ruthlessly finished them off as well. The incident that had remained unresolved for so many years was now fully clear. If you are a fan of horror films, this is definitely worth a watch. But be warned, some scenes are extremely graphic. Be prepared before watching. And with that, the story ends here. Subscribe to this channel for more horror stories like this.